Now we have started with the design of the staircase. Design a dog-legged stair for a building to which the vertical distance between floor is 3 meter. The stair room measures 2.7 meter by 5.20 meter. The live load may be taken as 3 kilonewton per meter square and floor finish as a 1 kilonewton per meter square. Use M20 grade concrete and Fe415 steel. Now we have to first consider the given data. The dimension of the stair room is given 2.7 meter by 5.20 meter. Floor to floor height is given 3.00 meter. Live load will be 3 kilonewton per meter square and floor finish is 1 kilonewton per meter square. And the material given as M20 grade concrete is given and Fe415 steel is given. So we have to consider the design constant for this given materials are M is your modular ratio 13.33, K is your neutral axis factor which is considered as a 0.29, J is your lever arm factor which is as a 0.90, and R is your constant for moment of resistance and which is equal to 0.91. Then next we have to go for the geometric design of the staircase, that is calculation of the size of your rise, size of your trade, number of the risers required, number of the trades required. So here we have to design the dog-legged staircase. So here the floor to floor height given is 3 meter. So height of each flight is equal to total floor to floor height divided by 2. So 3 divided by 2 we are getting 1.5 meter, that is height of each flight. Now you have to assume the riser for the size of the riser. So we are considering the size of riser as a 150 mm. So number of riser requires R. Number of risers required are floor to floor height of each flight, that is 1.50 divided by size of riser. So after simplifying this we are getting the 10 number of the riser. So you have to use the 10 number of the riser for the each flight. So here we are having the two flights, so we have to use the 10 number of the riser for first flight and 10 number of the risers for the second flight. So here we are having the 20 number of the riser. So number of trades required for each flight which is equal to, and the generally this number of trades are will be the R minus 1. So R is nothing but your riser minus 1. So we are getting the 9 number of the trades. Now you have to assume the size of the trade as a 300 mm. So space occupied by the trades are, we are using the 9 number of the trades and the size of each trade will be the 0.3 meter, that is 300 mm. So we are getting the space occupied by the trade as a 2.7 meter, and which is generally considered as a going. Then assume the clearance between that. So this clearance, that is the distance between these two flights, as a 0.2. So what we are getting, so width of the stair is equal to total size of the room will be the 2.7 minus clearance divided by 2. So we are getting the width of the stair as a 1.25, and we are assuming the width of landing is equal to width of stair, and which is equal to 1.25. Now we are coming across this design of this staircase. So this is your stair room, measure to size 2.70 meter by 5.20 meter. So this width of the stair will be the 1.25, and this width will be the 1.25, and this is your clearance, that is 0.2, and this is the brick wall having size equal to 0.23. So this is the design of your staircase, geometric design of the staircase. Now you have to go for the RCC design of the staircase. First you have to calculate the effective span. So we have to calculate the effective span for the first flight as well as the second flight, because the effective span for the both flights are the different. For in case of the first flight we have to calculate the effective span as a, just like your, this is your trade and the center to center distance between these two, it will be gives the effective span. So here in that case this effective span is equal to 0.3, that is trade divided by 2, that is half of this trade, plus this distance, that is distance from this trade, that is we are getting here 8 into 0.3, that is remaining trade into size of the trade, plus this landing, size of this landing, that is 1.25, plus brick wall, that is width of the brick wall, that is 0.23. So after simplifying this one, we are getting that is 4.33. Now we have to calculate the effective span for the second flight. While calculating the effective span for the second flight, this is your second flight. From this point to this point, we are getting the second flight. So the effective span for the second flight will be this width of this landing plus this going plus width of this again landing, second landing, and the half of the width of this brick wall and half of the width of this second brick wall. So effective span for the second flight will be the 1.25, that is first landing, plus going, that is 2.70, that is the space occupied by your tread, plus again width of the second landing plus width of your brick wall, that is 0.23. So after simplifying this one, we are getting the effective span as a 5.43 meter. Then we have to go for the calculation of the loads. Now first we have to consider the calculate the thickness of the waste slab. Now we are using the thumb rule, that is the thickness of waste slab will be considered as 40 to 50 mm for the 1 meter effective span. So here we are considering the 50 mm will be the effective depth of the overall depth of the waste slab for 1 meter. So overall depth is equal to 50 into effective span. So effective span we have to consider the greater of this two one. So for first flight we are getting 4.33, and for the second flight we are getting the effective span as a 5.43. So we have to consider the greater of this two value. So overall depth is equal to 50 into 5.43. So which is equal, after simplifying this one, we are getting the overall depth as a 271.5 millimeter. So which is to be go to the higher side. So we are getting this overall depth is equal to 275 mm. Now let us assume a effective cover of 25 mm. So we are getting the effective depth of the waste slab is equal to overall depth, that is D minus effective cover. So 275 minus 25. So we are getting this D effective depth is equal to 250 mm. Now we have to consider the loads acting on the staircase. First one, live load is given 3 kilonewton per meter square. Floor finish is given 1 kilonewton per meter square. Now we have to calculate the weight of the steps. This weight of the step is equal to B multiplied by T into 25. So B generally we are considering the 1 meter width into T is given as rise divided by 2 into unit weight of the concrete. Now to put up the value, that is B as a 1 meter, then riser, that is 0.15 we are assuming, divided by 2 into 25. After simplifying this one, we are getting the weight of the steps, which is equal to 1.88 kilonewton per meter square. Now to calculate the self weight of the waste slab, and which is given by the formula B into D into 25 into under root of R square plus T square divided by T, where B is again 1 meter, D is your overall depth of the slab, R is your size of your riser, and T is your size of your tread. Now to put up all these values, that is B as 1 meter, overall depth as 0.275 into 25 into under root of riser, that is 0.15 square, plus tread size, that is 0.3 square divided by 0.3. After simplifying this one, we are getting the self weight of the waste slab as a 7.69 kilonewton per meter square. Now I have to consider the total load acting on the inclined part, which will be the live load plus your floor finish plus weight of the steps plus weight of your waste slab. So this addition will be gives the total load on the inclined part as a 13.57 kilonewton per meter square. Now total load on the landing, in case of the landing we have to exclude the weight of the steps. So it will be only weight acting on the landing will be include only live load plus floor finish plus self weight of your waste slab. So after simplifying this one, we are getting the total load on the landing will be the 11.69 kilonewton per meter square. Now here we are having the load on the inclined part will be the 13.57, load on the landing will be the 11.67. While designing purpose, what we have to consider, we have to consider the greater of this two one, that is we have to consider the, for the design purpose, total load will be considered as a 13.57, and the effective span we have to consider as a 5.43 meter. The next step, that is step number 4, we have to go for the calculation of the bending moment, and the bending moment will be given as WL square by 8. Now put up the value, that is W is nothing but the weight 13.57 into effective span 5.43 square divided by 8. After simplifying this one, we are getting the bending moment will be the 50.01 kilonewton, 50.01 1 kilonewton meter. This is the bending moment developed. Now we have to go for the next step. We have to go for the check for the depth. Now we have to consider the check the depth from the bending moment consideration. So bending moment is equal to R into B d square. So bending moment you have to put up 50.01 into 10 to the power 6 will be in the Newton millimeter, is equal to R is your where design constant, which is 0.91. B is again 1 meter, that is 1000 millimeter, into D required square. So after simplifying this relation, we are getting this D required is equal to 234.40 millimeter. This is the depth required from the bending moment consideration, and already we are providing D provided as 250 mm. So this D required is less than the D provided, since your design will be the same from the bending moment consideration. The next step you have to go for the calculation of the steel. Now we have to calculate the main steel from the bending moment consideration, and next step you have to go for the calculation of the distribution steel. Now calculation of main steel, that is AST is equal to bending moment divided by sigma ST J into D. Now put up the value of the bending moment. Sigma ST will be the, that is permissible stress in the steel will be considered as a 230, because Fe415 steel will be given. That in J is your 0.90 and D is your effective depth, that is 250. Now after simplifying this one, we are getting this AST required as a 966.38 millimeter square. Now what is the minimum steel required from the IS consideration? Minimum steel will be the 0.12% of the gross area, that is B into D. So 0.12 divided by 100 into B is your 1000, D is your overall depth, that is 270. After simplifying this one, we are getting the minimum steel required is 330 millimeter square, and which is less than the AST, which is provided as 966.38. So you have to provide the AST as a 966.38. Now let us assume, or let us provide 10 millimeter diameter steel bars. Then the spacing is given as, spacing is equal to 1000 into area of the one bar divided by the total area of the steel provided. So S is equal to 1000 into, we are providing the 10 millimeter diameter steel bar, so pi by 4 into 10 square divided by AST as a 966.38. After simplifying this one, we are getting the spacing as 1.27 mm. So we have to provide the 80 mm as a spacing. So we have to provide, now we have to go for the check for the spacing first. So check for the spacing, the spacing should not be greater of the S is equal to 3 times effective depth. So 3 into 250, that is we are getting 750 mm, or S is equal to 300. So we have to provide 10 mm diameter steel bars at 80 mm center to center. Then you have to go for the distribution steel. The AST minimum is the 0.12% of the gross area of the concrete. So 0.12 into B is your 1000 and D is your 275 mm, that is overall depth of the slab. So after simplifying this one, we are getting this as a 330 millimeter square. Now let us provide 8 mm steel bars. Then the spacing is given as S is equal to 1000 into area of the one bar divided by the total area of the steel we are providing. Now put up the value 1000 into pi by 4 into 8 square divided by 330. So we are getting the spacing as 152.32, which is provided as a 150 mm. Now again we have to go for the check for the spacing. The spacing should not be greater than 5 times effective depth, that is 5 into 250, that is 1250, or the spacing should not be greater than the 450 mm. So here the spacing we are getting from the formula is 150 mm. So we have to provide the 8 mm diameter steel bar at 150 mm center to center. Now finally we have to go for the sketch, that is your main steel 10 mm, 5 at 80 mm center to center, and this is your distribution steel, this is your base slab, this is your landing, this is the arrangement. So finally we are getting the arrangement of the steel in the staircase.